Now, people always ask, why is it that I give away so many books when I speak? And the truth is, they didn't sell so good. So over here, this is 3 Feet from Gold. This is the gem of the gems. Who here has ever read 3 Feet from Gold? Now, this book is really cool. A lot of people don't know a little story behind the story here, but when you write a book, their goal and intention is to get into the only bookstore left in the world called Barnes & Noble, right? It's the last bookstore remaining. And when we were doing this book, we were turned down by every single publisher in New York. No one would do this. They kept saying, who do you think you are to be the new Napoleon Hill? Who do you think you are to come and try to fill these big foots? And I didn't take it offensive. But then all of a sudden I asked them, I said, look, I know before I needed a ghostwriter. What am I missing now? And they said, you need a co-author with a little bit more strength. So that's where Sharon Lechter, who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, came on with me right after she split up with Robert Kiyosaki. And together we did this book. And the same people that were turning us down, all of a sudden the doors flung open. But here's what's really cool. When the word got out that we were doing this book together, the actual bookstore owner of Barnes & Noble had a meeting with us, and that was the first book in the history of the world that Barnes & Noble published themselves. They cut out the middleman. And I realized, who's got a bigger email list, me or Barnes & Noble, right? So we forfeited our advance. We forfeit all this stuff and said, we'll just split all the revenues down the middle. That's why every time you'd walk into a bookstore, you'd see our books because we did this leverage. And the idea from this came from one of my favorite people I've ever met, a mentor of mine. His name is Jack. You guys know him? You don't know Jack. Okay, so Jack Mates is a guy who started a company called Velcro. You've heard of Velcro, right? I asked him a question. It says, how is it that you sold 5 billion people Velcro? And he looked at me and says, I never did. He goes, I only sold 5 people Velcro. I said, what do you mean? He says, I only sold the head of automotive, the head of aerospace, the head of fashion. They found the application and brought it to the world. He said, stop trying to sell everyone out of the back of your car. Because if you have a different mindset and you start opening the doors of opportunity and look for that leverage point, all things are possible. But the greatest interview from 3 Feet from Gold came from John Schwartz, who invented string theory. If you ever watch The Big Bang Theory, Sheldon's trying to figure it out. The guy who did, John Schwartz. He said this, successful people seek counsel where failures listen to opinion. Successful people seek counsel where failures listen to opinion. What's the difference? Opinion is based on ignorance, lack of knowledge, inexperience, like your family friends who've never done what you're about to venture upon. Counsel is based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship. People have paved the way. If I went to my family friends at the barbecue and said, hey, I'm going to write a best-selling book, they're going to do everything possible to talk me out of it, to protect me, to keep me safe. Plus, they've never written a best-selling book. But if I go to Mark Victor Hansen, Jack Canfield, who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, they're going to say, Greg, sit down. Here's what you need to know, and give you counsel based on wisdom, knowledge, mentorship. If we would spend our activity only seeking counsel and ignoring people's opinion, that's the day our lives would change. That's what Credible Source is all about. That's where we created Secret Knock. The idea is surround yourself with people that are getting the results you want. Now, I also stress, do your own due diligence. Make sure that you check these people out and they can actually help you with what you're working on. If one person's a seamstress and they're a world authority, that doesn't mean that they can help you with their social media, right? Use common sense as you're weeding these people out. This little book right here was the first editions of the Napoleon Hill Foundation. When Napoleon Hill started writing Think and Grow Rich, he was a magazine reporter. And what happened is that he wrote all the articles of his interviews into the magazine, and that's what they used to write Think and Grow Rich. The Napoleon Hill Foundation put these together and was going to sell it, and they never did. So Tony Robbins got 1,000, I got 1,000, Sharon Lechter got 1,000, and now you got 1. So congratulations on that. Bob Proctor and I did a book together called Thoughts Are Things. And the whole idea is how our thoughts become our realities. And guess what? Thoughts are not things. If thoughts were things, I'd be a slice of pizza because I'm hungry right now. But when we break for lunch and we go outside, we walk down the street and there's all the pizza parlors, my thoughts become realities by the actions in which we take. The whole idea is this. People come up all the time and they sit there and say what they want, but they're not willing to do the necessary actions. I'll give you an example. You can come up to me all the time and say, hey, I want a brand new Lamborghini. Yet if you're not willing to do the necessary actions, will you get that Lamborghini? It is the action in the law of attraction that makes our dreams come true. You got to think it. You got to feel it. You got to get off your ass. You got to take action. You got to do it. Have you ever had $1 million idea in the shower, and by the time you brush your teeth, it's down the drain? 10 years later, you see it on a billboard and go, holy shit, there's my idea. The only difference between you and them is one person did what? And that's where you're at right now. Secret Knock is a community of positive, like-minded people that will not say you're crazy. We want to hear your ideas. We want to hear your inventions. We want to see what you're working on and then align you with somebody who can help make that dream come true. Has anyone in this room had an idea or a connection that's led to prosperity ever from a Secret Knock? That's what it is. Surround yourself with people that are doing. And our only rule here at Secret Knock is what, everyone?
Be cool.
Be cool. And what does that mean? If water runs out on your table, don't bitch about it. Go get water, bring it back for the table. Be normal, right? People ask all the time, where's the name tags? We don't do that. Don't give out business cards. Just talk to people. Be a human.